All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So clearly a beautiful day for the GTII family here, okay? Before I talk about today, I'm gonna for sure talk about why I got the last video wrong, okay? I am not here pretending to be perfect. I am human just like you, and yeah, I'm not gonna pretend I'm wrong. I'm actually gonna like try to learn from it and avoid it next time, right? End of the day, I think more had to do with this 126 support. We obviously talked a lot about that special dividend in the chats over the last couple days on the comments, right? I think there was a couple things in play, and again, we'll talk about all that shortly. But real quick, what are we going to do today? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how this thing is setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages, these horizontal support and resistance lines I do draw manually myself, and then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like, subscribe, share this video, comment on the video. Anything you can do really does help with the YouTube algorithms. But hey, just being here and giving me your time is very, very much appreciated. All right. So look, let's get into it. And again, before talking about the good, which we will very soon, let's talk about why I got this thing wrong last time. Okay. So first and foremost, I think I was a little worried that we'd use this 126 line too many times. In retrospect, it really is only our third time. Obviously, it's a lot easier to say it now, right? But look, we use it here once and we get a bounce. We use it here again and we get a bounce. And then obviously, in my eyes, we use it here and get a bounce. It actually looked a little scary Monday morning, obviously, but I care more about the way this thing closes than anything that happens during the day or really after hours as well. Like, we play the regular hour strategy with this video, okay? And yeah, this wick looked like it was gonna lose it, definitely doesn't. And then beautiful, beautiful confirmation. I always say red, 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 red is ready to turn to green, 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 right? But yeah, I think was just a little too worried that this 126 wasn't going to hold. I think losing this trend line, which I've kept actually, I think added a little worry. And obviously we were under all the moving averages. And then I talked about this weird RSI in the last video. So I think if this went down like it should have, it would have been easier to anticipate the oversell. But hey, nonetheless, right, I definitely got it wrong, I think, for all those reasons. And let's talk about what we're looking at now, okay? We definitely smashed 2 moving averages, all right? And we're now back over the 8 moving average. Look, end of the day, getting over the 8 is my rule number 1, right? Getting over the 8 and the 20 is my rule 1 and 2 kind of thing, 1.5 or whatever you want to call it. But hey, I'm glad we're over the 8. Honestly, things will get much better if we can basically crack, what is that, 187, all right? I do not like it when there are 3 or more lines clustered this tight. When there's 2 lines, it's just in my head a little harder to break than a single one. When there are 3 or more out of only the 5 we have, right? I definitely call that a horizontal cluster. And look, I was talking about the cluster not that long ago, right? And it's kind of looking like we're doing the oscillation thing, right? It looks like we're gonna go up, it looks like we're gonna go up, looks like we're gonna go down, looks like we're back in. Like, I'm still seeing us trading within these 3. However, breaking the 200, the 200, excuse me, the 20 will take us over the stack and up. Like, honestly, if you're not in right now, what are you at? 1.9, that's a little high. What's your 50% at? All right. Honestly, I think 190 could be an interest. What are you at? What's your bottom right there? 189. I think 190 is an interesting alert to put if you're not in already. If you're in, look, end of the day, I'm very, very curious about what's going to happen with these 3 lines right here, okay? Because if we don't break them, more than likely we're coming back to 156, right? However, red, 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 red makes you really want to believe we'd come back to this 225 right here, right? Looks like the RSI is now starting to look a little better. I see the green peeking over. Obviously, volume looks really nice. And actually, this is the biggest volume we've had since what is this, middle of March, basically? Yeah, middle of March right here, right? So, um, good volume today. Again, I'm putting a little more weight on this 126 line. If you actually think it's the special dividend, let me know. I don't think I have a lot of weight in that. It seems like a very one-time thing that's going to come and go, and it'll be out of mind very soon. Maybe it really was enough to make people really interested. Again, I might be undervaluing it, right? But yeah, I think this was more a bounce on a very important 126 support. But again, if you buy tomorrow, you'll basically, and look, I don't even want to say if you buy tomorrow, right? Because even if you're just holding and don't add any more, you're already going to get an extra 10% share, right? So tomorrow is the last day for that. Maybe that'll be enough to break this. But remember, even if we get to 190 tomorrow, I need confirmation the next day, right? Because again, I hate moving average clusters. I really do. Because let's just assume that eight's going to want to come up, right? Like let's just that's what we're obviously hoping for, right? But if this starts to come up, then we're actually going to start making a tighter cluster. So end of the day, I'm just seeing all five lines a little too close to each other. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful recovery. And let's be honest, if this didn't happen, it would have been a really ugly red candle down. So I mean, it was critical that it happened, to say the least. All right, but am I wildly excited yet? I don't think just yet, because again, I think another thing I talked about was this 100 moving average line as well. It kind of looks like we might be oscillating on the 100, and the 100's going down right now, right? So hopefully that starts curving up, but yeah, I'm not sure if we're oscillating this way or if we're oscillating on the 100, but nonetheless, too many moving averages, too tight, but beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day today, all right? So, where are we on the weekly? All right, a lot happening on the weekly right here. So, man, it looks like, where is the 20 right on this? Yeah, look at that. So the 20 is at 145. It's pretty much right on this line right here. So far this week, we've taken over one, two, and we're trying to take over another three, four lines, right? Like that would be wild if it does it this week, right? End of the day, I also need confirmation on this, right? So there's a lot happen. And look, one more time, four lines are super, super tight on the weekly right here as well. I know there's just a lot of lines right here, so I'm sorry it's just noisy, right? But you can see the orange curves right there. And again, when I click it, you'll see it's 1455. This line's 1456, right? So but yeah, there is a really, really tight cluster here. There's a loosening but close enough cluster here, right? And end of the day, the cluster will either violently throw you up or violently throw you down, right? So it's a little hard to make solid predictions here. I'll be real honest. At the very minimum, I was wrong about losing 126, and I think we're all very glad I was wrong that we held 126, right? But I'm not completely sold just yet that we're breaking this and flying. Because again, look, we've done it a couple times. We've actually gotten over all of them, but couldn't like fly out, right? I think this isn't going to be a really important one. And then from there, retesting and actually breaking that 240 line is going to be really. We haven't talked about this 240 line in so long, right? That was the big story like back here. And it feels like this was such a distant memory, right? But yeah, first step is this 20, the orange line. Next step is 230. Breaking 230 will be really nice, right? You got this little gap right here after the plateau. It should just take off. And then are we running all-time highs after that? I mean, kind of, actually, because all of this in my head is super shady trading, right? Like, let me just kind of zoom into right here. Like, look at that, right? There's so many. Hold on, give me a sec. Sorry. There it up. There we go. There's a professional sound. There's so many like dashes right here instead of this like fuller candle setup. Like, oh, this is also on the weekly, right? But yeah, you can only imagine that's what it's going to look like on the daily as well if I zoom out, right? It actually looks significantly worse. But yeah, I think this 365 line is pretty much an all-time high line in my head, all right? I think this is a lot of fake insignificant trading, but we'll get to all that later, right? Sorry, I'm zooming in way too weird. Take this over here. Okay, And again, I think that's actually where I'm going to end it. I kind of wish I didn't end it like that, but those are all my thoughts. Let me know if you disagree or agree or disagree. Sorry. Hey, have a great one.